What is going on? You are listening to Tags Podcast, aka Talk About Gay Sex Podcast. This is episode 736. I am your host, Steve V, alongside Jeremy Ross Lopez. How you doing, Jeremy?
I'm really well. How are you?
Very good. Thank you so much. Of course, rounding out our beautiful equation tonight is the lovely, talented, with his brand new EP, Thing of Beauty, Cody Maurice Doggett. How the hell you doing, Cody?
Hello, darling. Have a wonderful evening.
Love it. Love it. And we are going to get into our sex talk here in just a second. But I have to ask, Cody, how was Valentine's Day? Did you do anything fun? Did you get any?
Did I get any? or cake or both?
Well, if you remember, the question on Tags Live was, would you go on a date? And I think your answer was, yeah, I would get together with somebody.
So I worked, but I was chatting with a special friend of mine, a very handsome gentleman, and he did come after I got off work and picked me up, and we went and had a drink. He surprised me because I was like, "Oh, it would be nice to see you. It would be, it would be nice to go out." I know, right? I was very surprised. I was very pleased. I was smiling ear to ear. I knew you were going to ask this question. That's why I was still kind of cheesing in my introduction. So yeah, it was great. And then we went and had empanadas, and then he took me home. It was very, very nice.
Perfect.
I know. It was great. So hopefully I go on another date with him.
Lovely. Very lovely. I don't know if you guys felt it, but this year it seemed like everybody was celebrating Valentine's Day. It was, I think I went into Home Depot, I was running errands, and the woman was like, people are treating it like it's Christmas. Nobody's in here today.
Right.
No, it just felt like this was the year. I mean, so much so that across the street, it used to be a Chase Bank, and it's been empty, and they turned that into the Valentine's Day Museum for the last week. So,
oh my God.
I know. And then, of course, Crumble was across the street, and everyone was there. And so it was just like madhouse. But how was yours, Jeremy?
It was great. It's what I would call a staycation. We really just stayed in the entire weekend, cozy, watching scary movies, cooking, eating a bunch of chocolates and stuff. And I got him 24 roses, and yeah, and it was just very chill and very relaxing and really nice and much needed.
Nice. I love that. Yeah, we stayed in, we cooked, which was lovely. Diego got me flowers. We did this thing where I was describing it. You order, the two of you, we painted the same painting, and you pick the painting you want to paint, and then you get this video. They send you everything you need, like an entire kit with the easel, the canvas, the paint, even a little apron. And then you watch this woman instruct you with the painting that you chose. And it was a hot mess. It was super fun. We were giggling and we were laughing, but mine was I feel though she didn't really instruct the first part, this major part, because we did this tree landscape thing. And I wish you would have spent more time on that, because I butchered the whole thing up. And
I DM'd you. I was like, how did it go? I wanted to see the final
product.
You were
going to see Diego's actually looked good. I thought he doesn't like it, but so it's not going to go up. But I actually thought his looked pretty good. But mine was
that's a fun little activity to do together.
Yeah,
it was.
Fun still, even though,
even if it's not product. Also,
yeah, right. And I think that's the name of the whole company too. Something about something Picasso, but yeah, definitely not. But we had a lot of fun and watched movies, and so yeah,
it's cute. That sounds really cute.
Yeah,
I still want to see though. Take a picture and let me see. You don't have to I'll delete it afterwards.
No, I'll keep it and show you. And I'm not even going there. Not happening. Okay. Well, let's get into our conversation today, because it really stems from two movies. One thing we did do also that we're going to be talking about in this sex talk was we went and saw the new movie Pillion, and it is starring Alexander Skarsgård about a dom sub relationship, and it's really good. It's in theaters right now. I can't say enough about it, about the dom sub relationship. The movie, so good, and we'll incorporate it into tonight. But then there is this movie called Paris 559, Theo and Hugo, that's celebrating its 10th anniversary, and you can watch it on Tubi for free. And believe me, to be able to get it on Tubi for free, the first 20 minutes, it's all set in Paris, and it's in a sex club. And 20 minutes is you're in a sex club, and we're talking, they do not, you see dicks, they're sucking. And I almost remember, Jeremy, when we used to do our parties and I would have a movie playing in the background.
Yes.
This first 20 minutes you could just have like playing because it's all in red and deep, deep blue. And this thumping, you could even leave the music going because the music's excellent. And I watched it with Diego and we were like, wow. And then afterwards, these two guys, Theo and Hugo, meet in the middle of group sex, and they're having sex. They're both topping two different people, but they engage with each other in their eye contact.
It's always so hot.
And then they end up having hot sex, and then they leave the sex club and they're riding bikes along all of Paris at 4:45 in the morning, and they're talking about how amazing the sex was, and until it gets, and this is where 10 years ago the movie takes a turn, because PrEP was around, but these two guys, one of them is positive and one of them didn't use a condom. And it takes them to the emergency room where they are, one of them's angry that they didn't use the condom, but it's really good. And you guys got to watch it. Paris 559, Theo and Hugo. But it all got me thinking, from dark rooms to, can you actually develop like love? I mean, I met my husband at the New York Eagle, not the most romantic place, if you will. I have friends that came to my wedding that have been married for years now, and they met at the Cock in the dark room and have been married ever since. And so the question is, what if falling in love didn't start with dinner? What if it started in a club, in the blur of bodies, and still became something real? And that's where these two films kind of go. Now, Pillion is a little bit different in that it's a dom-sub relationship, and I won't spoil too much, but it goes south, but it's such an excellent movie. But I have to, and one final thing about the movie 559, Theo and Hugo, is they filmed this 10 years ago. The two actors fell in love in real life. What? And just last year, they got married.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
Look at all these darkroom loves that are going on. That's great.
I know. It's so cool. So with these, guys falling in love, and do you think this mirrors our gay experiences? Essentially, Jeremy, meeting somebody in a wild context and discovering a real connection. Do you believe in that?
I believe in it anywhere. I mean, I think that the thing about falling in love or meeting anyone that becomes something special is that it's all unplanned. And right. I think when you are kind of manifesting to yourself that you're ready for it, I think it ends up falling into your lap, or you run into it in a weird happenstance that you don't plan or predict. And I think that could be anywhere. I think it could be the grocery store, the sidewalk, the park, the car wash, like being at a sex club, being in a back dark room, being at any of these places. I think it really is an opportunity to to be out and meet someone in any situation.
Yeah, I do think, I've said it before on the show, our superpower, our queerness, is always, for many of us, been based on sex and our sexuality. And we do often, different from our hetero counterparts, often lead with that and then develop a relationship from there. But Cody, we realize that sex can really accelerate intimacy, like in this movie, it does. But does it guarantee emotional understanding? Because if you go head first with like amazing sex, can you sometimes lose, like, when everything fades away? Is love blind?
I think so, and I think that love can strike anywhere. I feel like I've seen Cupid in a harness before, so I think it's a thing. I think that love can strike anywhere. You never can be prepared for it. So I feel like it's something that can happen to anybody at any time, and I look forward to it. All you have to do is be open. That's like the main thing that you need for love to be able to strike you.
Yes, absolutely. With that arrow,
or
absolutely. I mean,
or a paddle or
or a
whatever.
paddle. Yeah, I mean, I think what these movies do, and there's another great movie you and I were talking about it the other day, Cody, Weekend or The
Oh,
Weekend.
so good.
Two guys meet up and in a bar, I believe, or just online, and spend the entire weekend together. And it's a really beautiful movie. I do think sometimes we start with the physical, and then we are oftentimes that pillow talk is real for a lot of us gay men. We get that sex. What's more vulnerable than stripping down and getting raw sexually? And I do think it can open up, if you are willing to, laying around with somebody, have emotional conversations with somebody. And it can be heightened, so you have to be careful with that. But it can lead to romance, even marriage. And look at these examples that we've given. Well, the movie that I'm recommending that's out now, Pillion, about a dom sub relationship, and there's an age gap in there too. The dynamic is super hot, but that dynamic kind of made it harder. Do we think that some connections more about role play disposition than actual real compatibility, Jeremy? Or does that make sense to you?
I think it could go both ways. I think it depends on like the scenario and the situation. I feel like if you're going into it not really knowing the person at all or having any context, then the roles kind of are more important. But if you are comfortable with the person and you know them well, then I think that kind of uh, meshes differently than just your defined roles, if that makes sense.
It does make sense. And I think oftentimes we do get caught in roles that can be really great. Like in a dom sub relationship, it works oftentimes until it doesn't work at a certain point.
Yeah.
Age gaps can be, sometimes somebody's more of the breadwinner at certain points of time and sometimes not. What do you think about that, Cody? About are some connections more about role disposition than actual real compatibility?
Wow. I have seen it before, and I don't know. I don't vibe with that personally. I'll just put it that way. I think that for me to be in like a strict, stringent role, I think is kind of counterintuitive because I feel like they should ebb and flow as far as like who is the power dynamics, number one. Like you said, who's the breadwinner? I feel like all of that is incumbent about on where you are and how you are viewing life. It's something that if you're going through somebody in life through a long span of time, that can change on a dime. So I feel like it should be more flowing and more malleable than a strict guideline as far as the two roles are concerned.
Yeah, I think I love that ebbs and flows. And I think with any relationship, I think in queer relationships in general, there is your story with your partner. Often we do jump into things. We start with the sex part of it, and then we're quick to do a lot of things. But I do think a lot of us are good at having those conversations and those emotional conversations to reformat. Diego and I are having them all the time. We just have to, because we can be who we are, but there's outside stimuli when we put ourselves out there in the environment, people are, you can't control that, and you have to check in more. I mean, when you met Kevin, Jeremy, have you noticed that were there roles, or have you had to constantly talk through to keep the fire going? I know you guys met, he slid into your DMs, but what can you tell us more about that?
We definitely constantly talk about it and just figure out like ways around figuring out what's best for us, and like what turns us on, and what things we think we need to try and need to put more effort into and stuff like that. So I think it's always an evolving, constant conversation, and it's definitely something that we think and talk about often.
Yeah, absolutely. And if Cody, to pose a different question to you, if the new EP, Thing of Beauty, is a reflection on a past relationship, what are you going to bring into your new relationship, or what do you want to?
I'm definitely, if that is a reflection of what I need to change, it's definitely going to be. I was talking to somebody, and we were talking about what red flags there are, and I feel like I can only go into the next relationship reflecting upon what I did a little bit wrong, or what my contribution to the breakdown of the relationship was, and that was me not listening enough, and also always having to be right. So those two things I'm trying to let go of in the next relationship, because I should have told my partner that he was right more often. Definitely.
Ooh, that's a big one for many of us.
Girl, you asked, girl. I gotta reflect him,
you
right?
gotta really learn to not be right all the time, and I'm learning that all the time.
You gotta let it go. You can't be right all the time.
You do. That's such a biggie, right?
Oh my God. And I love to be right. It just happens all the time that I'm always right, but I gotta let it go, because sometimes there's more than one perspective out there, is what it boils down to.
Absolutely. You know that moment after the chemistry, after the hookup, after the butterflies settle, when you suddenly realize, oh, this is a real person. A lot of us were taught how to attract someone. Fewer of us were taught how to actually connect with them. That's what my new app, Connect and Confidence, is about. Not changing who you are, but understanding why you attach, how you communicate, how to build intimacy that lasts longer than the spark. Because chemistry can start a relationship, but emotional awareness is what lets it breathe. If you're ready to stop guessing and start connecting, Connect in Confidence is available now. And today you can get 20% off. Go to studio.com/SteveV/connect and get 20%.
Nobody does selling better than Shopify. Shopify is the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret secret, with Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts go abandoned and way more sales going through. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling. On the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more, sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout that Skims uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period for 3 months at shopify.com/Westwood1, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Westwood1 to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/Westwood1.
The secret is out. With millions of younger-looking customers across the country, Plexiderm is one of the most highly sought-after products on the market. It visibly shrinks under-eye bags and smooths out crow's feet in minutes, and the effects last up to 10 hours. Influencers love it, magazines feature it, and people just can't get enough of it. As a matter of fact, Elle Magazine gave it an Editor's Choice Award as Best Instant Wrinkle Filler for 2025. In as little as 10 minutes, Plexiderm reduces the appearance of fine lines, wrinkles, and those dreaded under-eye bags. So yes, you can look years younger in minutes, and the effects last for hours. No surgery, no gimmicks, just results. The best news, you can try Plexiderm for only $14.95 $1.95. Plus, get free shipping. Don't wait. Order Plexiderm today. Visit plexiderm.com/special. That's plexiderm.com/special. Paid for by Sheer Science.
% off at studio.com/Steve V/connect. But in Hot Topics, Cody and I went to the hanging of the pride flag at the Stonewall Monument last Thursday. And we just, if you remember, they took down the pride flag in the Stonewall National Monument. Why? Because the current administration says that there can only really be one flag, and it's the American flag. And do you know that they actually went to the Stonewall and took it down? Well, we weren't having it. Senators and politicians, and we went last Thursday. How cool was that being a part of that? Erecting it back up.
It was amazing, Steve. I'm so glad we got the chance to connect and really go there, even though I was a little bit late.
That's okay. They were having some problems getting it back up, so you were actually right on time. Yeah.
I got to see it come back up. So that's the most important part. And it was good to see community and see how many people are out there, and they really care about the rights of the people. So that was fantastic. A question that I asked myself is, I wonder if all the other monuments that are down there, like especially in the South, that have the Confederate flag up, are they taking those down as well? Or is it just focusing? So
good question. Right.
If we know out there, write in and let us know.
Absolutely. And I have to say, being a part of it, they say when you're with your community, it's really impactful and powerful. But when you're with your community, I guess the closest is a pride parade where everyone's like happy. But when you're actually for your rights and you're shoulder to shoulder with everybody, it's really, I was starting to get a little bit tearful. And there's new legislation, though, that's being proposed to make the LGBTQ plus pride flag a congressionally authorized flag, meaning it would permanently fly at the Stonewall National Monument without removal. But which is good. I'm glad that sparked that. And people like actress Jen Tulloch, she's in Severance, and she had this really beautiful interview she was doing for Glad Media, and she got emotional just talking about being there. And then, of course, Sarah Jessica Parker posted a really amazing message that almost sounded like poetry, where she said, question, you think if you remove our flag, we're going to not care or remember or continue to advocate or forget? She says in her video, she says, with a deliberate cadence that wouldn't be out of place at your local open mic. She's like, I'm just curious. Yeah, we want our flag back, but just because you take it away doesn't mean you take away the history of the community or everybody that stands shoulder to shoulder. And it was really beautiful. And she spoke, Jeremy, like as if she said our flag. She's an ally. And how important do you think is for actresses or actors to speak up for something like this?
I love it, and I know that she's always been an ally, and I know that she's a true New Yorker at heart as well.
Yes.
And I know that she speaks truth when she is talking about how much this means to her and how important it is to her. And I just love her words. I think that's a beautiful speech and just a point to make for our community right now.
And it's so both sides of it, too, because she has a point. You can take that down, but it will never change our history, our storytelling, and what we stand for. But then when you also think about it, bring back our flag, too, I think a lot of us, or if I speak for myself, you see the flag and you're like, yeah, pride flag, great. But if you take it away, it really does mean something and it signifies something. And I think I may sent you guys a TikTok video of this really cool where people were wearing buttons and they were going on job interviews or they were going to different things, like they were on the train, and seeing just that symbol that maybe they were a little bit nervous, but that put them at ease. It really does signify safety, home, community. and all those things, it means something. And so, and then when you're talking about the Stonewall with the history of that, no, we're not playing. And I don't know. I'm just glad that there's legislation that is going up to protect it. So we will keep an eye on that. Okay. We thought we were done talking about Austin Wolf, right? And he is in a Dallas prison serving his, what we thought was 19 years for basically, being a pedophile, if for lack of better words, but call a spade, right? And he was set to come out 19 years from now. He'd be released in September of 2044. Well, he has gotten 4 years shaved off.
Wow.
Which doesn't sound like a lot. It'll now be like 15 years instead of 2044. It'll be 2040. He would be 59 at that point. And the reason that they're citing it is because, he served that time before he actually had the trial. And he's been in prison for a while. And apparently he's shown good behavior. And you do get points for that according to how the system works. And so, I mean, it's still 15 years. But what do you say to this, Jeremy? This happens a lot. I mean, if you're following the Epstein files, Ghislaine Maxwell is also in a similar type prison that Austin is, and it's like low security, but she's serving less time because of certain things. What do you say to this, Jeremy?
I just still think it's not enough time, but that's my own opinion. I just think it should last longer, and I just worry about the danger that it poses once they are back in society, but that's my opinion.
I agree with you. And I mean, it's still 15 years. And the other thing is part of his sentencing includes 10 years after he's released. So if it's now 2040 as opposed to 2044, he will have to check in with the parole officer for 10 years after that. So from 59, if he's 59, until he's 69, he'll still be having to check in. And I don't know. What do you say to that, Cody?
I mean, I know people that have been incarcerated before. They didn't get any time off for good behavior, and I don't know for sure, but I figured that they were doing everything they needed to do in order to get that time shaved off. So I wonder what it is about Austin Wolf that's getting him this time off. It's just really, it's disheartening a little bit. It makes me feel like the system really isn't fair. And yeah, that's it. I'll leave it at that.
Let us know how you weigh in on that. Well, the Winter Olympics has been giving a lot drama, more than sport. But the latest is love in a cold climate. Winter Olympic Village, the village where all the athletes are. We reported that Grindr actually is going to have Grindr available only within the village. So in other words, looky-loos or people that are coming to the Winter Olympics are not going to be able to like hook up with an athlete. It is, and I think we just said, Cody, that that's a good thing, that it's only amongst those. But it's not.
It dashes my dream. So, but it is fair. Who doesn't want to hook up with an Olympic athlete?
I mean, yeah, but you'd have to get to the Olympics first to hook up with another one. That's what happened. The latest, though, is the village has run out of condoms when it's in Italy, and some athletes have reported that they were given condoms, they were made available, but they've run out of them. So apparently they're getting busy. And you know how the Olympics are. Your sport might not be until it's like 2 weeks usually. Maybe your sport is the following week, or, so you have some free time on your hands. And I think running out of condoms, I mean, the gay ones, hopefully they're on PrEP and these condoms won't mean a difference. But what do you say to this, Jeremy?
I think it's kind of interesting, and that people are using the condoms and that they ran out. I mean, obviously they have to step up their supply game, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it is funny because it's interesting to me, because you would think, or I would think, as Olympians, you're so focused on the sport, right? And just trying to win a gold or place in something. And isn't that aren't you training all other times? And if you're not training, you're resting. And yet, I think I say this because I was a competitive gymnast for years and years, and then was at one point considering Olympics. But at the time I was not sexually active. So but these people have made it to the Olympics and are of an age, and they got to blow off some steam, apparently, Cody.
Good for them. And it's cold. Do your best, and your sport you'll do better in your sport more relaxed, I feel like. So I feel like this is ease and stress and tension, and I'm win the goal, honey. Go for the goal. And whatever you do in the sport, in the bed, go for the goal. That's final answer.
Okay. Home run. Yeah, all that stuff. Just
touchback. Touchdown.
Touchback. You taught us that recently as opposed to touchdown. Okay, well, staying in sports, and this is just sad to me when a German referee, Pascal Kaiser, was attacked not once but twice after proposing to his boyfriend at a football match. Only 2 days after the first attack, Kaiser was attacked again on his own doorstep. These guys are so cute, and it wouldn't matter if they were not cute. I mean, but Pascal proposed to his boyfriend in front of thousands at a Bundesliga match on January 31st. February, and he did it, in front of everybody, and I think he got a lot of cheers. I'll just put the picture for you guys to look at it in our little chat. But got attacked. He has a black eye in the thing. It's sad too, because it makes you think. We just saw played out in fiction heated rivalry where in that particular sport, one guy goes down to basically profess his love that he's gay and he has a boyfriend. And how much were we all loving that and cheering and crying? And that's ignited a whole slew of real athletes to come out in hockey, which is not known for that. What do you say to this, horrible thing that happened to these guys, Jeremy?
I think it's really pathetic of people, and it really dampers a beautiful moment for them. And it's sad and just pathetic that is people's reaction to it. And I just hope that they are staying safe after doing all of that publicly. And
yeah,
it's really just unsettling, to be honest.
Completely unsettling because, we want to be able to do what everybody else is afforded the right to do. And I mean, that beautiful moment, Cody, in the Super Bowl where an actual couple got married during the Bad Bunny show was amazing.
So good.
But what if it was two men or two women? Would we have the same response? Would it be called political? It's like we take two steps forward and then we're always going backwards. And now these guys, they obviously know where this referee lives.
If it was two men or two women getting married at Bad Bunny's concert, the Bonito Bowl, then the streets would have been up in arms. It would have been
They already called it political, and maybe you can argue that however you feel, but this would have definitely been what a political
it would have
statement.
been way too much for anybody to handle.
But why is two men or two women political? And see, we're not there yet, right?
We're not there yet, and I feel like even in Germany, where this. I feel like they have a more progressive society there, but I was watching Drag Race UK versus the World. Well, I gotta watch it after this. And one of the contestants is German, and they were saying that the right in Germany is having an upheaval, an uprising, like they're starting to get more popular, and that's really concerning. That here that's happening, and over there it's happening as well. Like, what is going on? What is the pushback against more progressive views and more accepting views of gender and sexuality and things of that nature? I don't know where it's coming from, and I hope that it doesn't like really continue or devolve into something that's that's worrying for us as a society.
It's like it wouldn't be my choice to do something propose. I mean, I think we did it in my living room. I'm looking at the living room space, just the two of us, and it was so low key, but it was beautiful. But you want to know that like we are afforded the same rights, and that's why things like Stonewall Monument matter and flags matter, because clearly with stories like this, we are not at a place where we are equal, and those things, symbols matter. And it makes you think that while I wouldn't do a public proposal like that, I would at least want to know that if I did, I wouldn't be beaten up at my own home.
Right.
And we're not there yet. And so it's just it's just that reminder. So that's why the flag matters, people. Okay, well, a new study, oh my goodness, says that college students won't stop looking at phones. Okay, well, not surprising, but even during sex. According to a recent survey reported by the New York Post, more than 1 in 3 U.S. college students admitted they've checked their phone during sex. Not afterwards, not to change the music, during. The survey conducted through the campus-focused apps Yik Yak and SideChat polled roughly 100,000 American students aged 18 and over, and about 35% said they pulled out their device mid-hookup to send a text or scroll through a video. Nearly 23% of the respondents said they've had sex while their roommate was still in the room, too, and separate. But the first step, Jeremy, I mean, is it ever appropriate during sex to be checking your phone?
No, of course not. I feel like just getting carried away with the phone in general is so easy for a lot of like younger generations to do.
Yes.
It's definitely like there's no place for it in the bedroom, and there's just so many instances where it's just so like disrespectful, and this is like a perfect example. And I just feel like it ruins connection and like moments and just experiences, and it's great for some things but really detrimental and terrible for others.
Yeah, and it's really hard I know exactly what you're talking about, maybe not the sex part of it, but people that are just so attached to their phone. I think it's just my generation, or just for me personally. I mean, I use the phone. Of course, I love the phone. I use it for all kinds of things, but I put it down a lot. It's just not, but it wouldn't surprise me, Cody, if college students would, if we're seeing it with people our age,
Yeah.
can you imagine younger generations?
Oh, definitely. It's something that it's pervasive. I feel like for me, even because you've called me out before about having my phone out when we're together and like we're supposed to be connecting. So I've gotten better. I feel like I've done a lot, but I would never. Oh, you know what? I think there is one instance in which I would bring out my phone during sex, and that's to record the sex because it's just so hot. But
Oh, well,
even
there you
then,
go.
even then, when I'm recording the sex and it's just so sexy and hot, like I can't have it out for more than like 30 seconds or a minute because I I have to be fully invested and focused there for what is going on, and I'm there for pleasure and to please, and not to be scrolling through TikTok or whatever. I think
Oh
that's
my
so
God.
crazy. Can you imagine if somebody went to text somebody while you're having sex with them? I would pull out so fast. Your head
Or
would spin.
or worse, that they were on Grindr, maybe
Oh my
responding to their next
God.
hookup. I
Not during the
mean,
sex. I get it like
well,
directly after the sex.
I
Uh
think pulling up the phone for anything really is just during sex. It's just
Yeah.
like
I've had
I
sex
would.
with like so I went over like this guy's not apartment, his hotel room, and he had another guy that was there that was doing the things on the phone in order to get his hookups. I guess he was like having like a revolving door. You outsource that type of thing. You can't be on your phone and looking for
Right.
sex while you're having sex. You have somebody
You
else
need
do it. I
your
mean,
secretary to do it.
exactly. And he was naked and he would come and suck my dick every now and then. But like as far as the
Oh, well, now
outsourcing
that you
went,
say that, Cody, I mean, back in the day when I have used the apps before, I've been to guys places where they were maybe, oh, do you want to get like a third to come over? And I was there and we could have gotten started, but there was this over obsession with trying to find this third person. I'm like,
Yeah.
and I played along with it for a minute, but you're right. It was kind of built into the equation and it was a hookup. But then at some point I was like, we can continue down this road or we could have fun right now. And then, you know, maybe round to it. I don't know, but it's just like, yeah, it got a little out of hand, and I was just like, okay, I'm out.
Yeah, the third needs to be either pre-planned or it needs to happen within the first like 15 minutes of the hookup. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. We need to not even go down that road because I'm not going to wait another half an hour for another guy to come here when we could be.
Let's get to the plot. We're still on the intro, and you wouldn't think you would have to write an article about how to actually prepare for a first date, but somebody in Sarah Armstrong for Axe wrote how to prepare for a first date. And these things, I'm going to read them to you, the 5 easy steps. They seem so obvious to me, but my goodness, maybe they're not. Number 1, hit the shower, start fresh, wash off the day and step out feeling clean with the body wash. Number 2, groom up. Trim, style, or shave, whatever makes you look sharp and feel like yourself. I would also put manscape too, if you're going to us gays. Number 3, find your signature scent. Pick a fragrance that suits your vibe. A few sprays to be unforgettable. Number 4, check the details. Clothes neat, breath fresh, shoes clean. Little things make a difference. And number 5, confidence mode on. Take a deep breath, stand tall, and head out knowing you've got this. Are these just... Do we need reminding of these, Jeremy?
I mean, I don't think so. Those are no-brainers to me.
Right?
I also feel like a lot of times because nerves usually take place on a first date, I would say being yourself is probably the best advice you could have. And then those others are just like a non-negotiable. Like, obviously, you should take a shower and really look your best if you want to present yourself like with your best foot forward. But I would say really being yourself is the most important, and it also gives you like that comfort level that you need in order for someone to be attracted to you.
I agree. I mean, that last one, confidence mode on, I like that. Take a deep breath, stand tall, and head out knowing you've got this. I like that one a lot.
Yeah.
And the one, though, you know, maybe these need reminding, Cody, because I remember, you know, not gay, but my sister went on a date and she got, you know, it was a daytime affair, but in San Francisco, and she looked good, maybe early evening. And the guy had on Tevas, you know, those
What are those?
sandals and like wrinkled shorts.
Wow.
I hate Tevas.
Oh my God, those are gross.
Yeah. And he told her, I'll never forget, wow, you look good. And she's like, yeah, it was a date. And he's like, oh, what? You know, I have nice clothes too, was his response. And she said, well, you didn't choose to wear them today. Which, I mean, what do you think about these?
Yeah, it just shows your level of interest. And I feel like for me personally, because I haven't been on any stinky dates, like the shower thing, I feel like most people have got that down. But I did go on a date one time and it was okay. But the guy, he had on this holy t-shirt. And I was like, what kind of effort? You don't have to be all dressed up with a button down or anything.
And not even like
that.
the creative, like, you know, version of the whole, like, strategic laser cut.
No,
t-shirt,
it was in his armpit. It was in the armpit. So I said to myself, I was like, he's not serious. He doesn't want to get to know me, and he doesn't want to actually put any effort into this relationship. So I'm like, I'm good. So we never went out again. My mom brings it up all the time. She's like, remember that guy with that hole? You hated him. I was like, yeah, it was not fun.
Yeah. Well, I put a link in our little chat here when recently the question, why lingerie on men and masculine folks, is having a moment. Lingerie isn't just for women, and it never was. Let's start by, so there's fun here. I guess the Messy Thoughts podcast posed the question recently about what do we think about lingerie for men? And the answer, according to co-host BJ, oh, I love it. And I'll post this on our Tags Patreon community. Go to patreon.com/Tags podcast to see these pictures. But Jeremy, are you into this lingerie moment for men?
Yeah, I definitely am into it. I think it's hot, especially on a masculine looking guy, but I don't like the bra or the boots.
No, yeah.
Really just the underwear or like stockings wise, I think it's sexy, but other than that, I'm not like, I don't love a wig or boots or bra added.
The article makes a big thing, Cody, about talking about body positive truth, that there's no right body for lingerie. It's not reserved for a single body type. You don't need to have abs, muscles. Anybody can wear it. I mean, some of these pictures, though, look like, they have got the abs. So, I think I know the answer. Are you wearing it? Do you like it on your man? And what do you think about this moment that we're seeing?
So I actually just came back from a photo shoot. In addition to going to see my mom for Valentine's Day yesterday, I did a photo shoot also, and I was wearing
lingerie.
some lingerie. I was wearing some lingerie, so it was like a meshy type of. It wasn't lace, but it was meshy, and so yeah, I love lingerie, especially on like a nice muscle guy. I think it's really sexy. I could do the boots. I can do a bra. I could do it all. You know what? Just slap it on and I'll take it off and we'll be good to go. So I think it's really hot. I'm probably going to have a little wank to some of these pictures later on.
I love it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know lingerie for. I have some interesting pieces, and I did mention recently that we've been organizing and putting like my leather. It's all organized, and Diego even created a couple drawers for my. We have a jock strap like drawer, and we've got the thongs in a certain area, and it is making, since they're organized now, we're revisiting it when we do go out. And so at least like the jock strap stuff and some of I think when it's organized and you see it, you take it into consideration. So I'm here for it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Lastly, back to the Super Bowl and that infamous Bad Bunny show. The internet was shocked to discover one last thing, that Kid Rock, who was doing an alternate show, if you weren't into the Bad Bunny show, Kid Rock was doing this alternate show that apparently was awful, and a fraction, and Ricky Martin, who is beloved by us gay men and everybody, that they have something in common. What is it? They were both born in 1971, and I have something in common with them too, because I was born in 1971 too.
What? What's going on that year?
I put a link in for you guys to look, and there's a side by side, which is so shady, of Kid Rock next to Ricky Martin, and I'm sorry, but time hasn't. What do you say to this, Jeremy?
That bitch looks tired. He has always been gross to me, and I don't like his nickname. I don't like his music. I don't like how he dresses, and he looks really worn out and like he's lived a very rough life, especially in comparison to Ricky Martin. That's all I have to say on that.
There's a whole thing where people went off on it, and there's a little cartoon, Gays at 30, of like a muscly, chiseled, good-looking guy, and then heteros at 30, and it's like in pajamas, overweight, not unkempt, and we do take care of ourselves, I think, a little bit more in general than our counterparts do, Cody.
I mean, hate ages you, because Kid Rock looks like somebody's inbred grandmother over there. I was like, he looks horrible. He looks horrible. He, like Jeremy said, he probably has lived a very rough life. I'm not going to make any conjecture on that, but I'm glad Ricky Martin looks as good as he does. I aspire to look like Ricky. I'm going to make a positive spin on this, because he looks fantastic. And you know what? It just goes along with the gay. right?
It's so funny too because you often will be kind with some of your words too, but inbred I can't, and
Mama,
also
I don't have no
view.
kind words for racist. I'm sorry.
I mean, inbred, and I watch The View along with Lincoln, or we record it every day. And Alyssa is the conservative one, and she's pretty kind with a lot of. She was talking about the halftime show, and she was saying, I mean, you've got Bad Bunny, billions of streams, the number one artist, such an amazing, brilliant entertainer, and then you've got a subpar, washed up artist, Kid Rock,
Yes.
if you can even call him that. And I was like, Alyssa, wow, we went there. Inbred, subpar, washed up.
It says hate makes one age like milk. That's amazing.
That's what it is.
One, and we'll leave you with one of the most brilliant lines when we started our show today of 5:59. Théo and Hugo, the movie that you should all watch, when they're riding the bikes after they've had this amazing sexual encounter, says, there's a little bit more love in the world tonight. And I thought that was such a brilliant line. There's a little bit more love in the world tonight. And I thought, I will leave you with that. And with that, thank you so much. We could do this all night, but we've got to go. You can follow my co-hosts on the gram. Follow Jeremy at J. Ross Lopez, Follow Cody at Mr. Maurice, as well as on Blue Sky. Don't forget to get his EP, Thing of Beauty, wherever you get your music. Follow me on the gram. I am _Steve V. We're live this Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time with Tags Live, so please join us. And in the meantime, continue having hot gay sex. Lovely. That was so fun.
Yeah.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.